how did you end up, what do you think, what were the milestones or like inflection points or chance encounters that led you to the point where you're flying around in helicopters with top athletes, paid by the top brands? Like, I mean, because I can point to a handful of things, right? With the 4 Hour Work Week, like 2007 South by Southwest was
one of the tipping
Bloggers
points. Lounge, you told me about that.
Right, like had
Robert Scoble.
Exactly, like I can identify these points. So what were some of those points for you?
A couple of the key ones, actually taking the camera that my grandfather passed to me when he died and actually teaching myself the art in a very unencumbered sort of way, where there was a lot of freedom to make mistakes, freedom to learn, and a reliance on yourself. So to me, that's a great way to learn, and to learn from others in a not dissimilar to Creative Live, how the world's best. Like, I would meet up with people all over the world and just connect with them around photography. So the learning phase, there was a lot of opportunity for exploration and making mistakes, and there wasn't a lot of stakes early on, but as soon as I decided that I wanted to do that, I threw myself into a lot of stakes, like I know I want to do this professionally, how can I do it? Move to Steamboat, meet the right people, and then there is instantly stakes. I know that's a big thing for you with increasing the stakes, so it can accelerate learning. So the camera and having a little freedom to explore and play. Basically, like, get familiar in a way where there's not pressure. Then I put myself in a little bit of a pressure cooker by saying, and I didn't really declare it. I said, like, I declared it to myself, but not overtly. I said, I'm going to try and do this. Being in a community, like putting yourself at the heart of where that stuff is happening. If you want to do a startup, it's much easier in Silicon Valley than it is in Detroit, for example. So I did the equivalent of move to I wanted to shoot skiing and snowboarding, so I went to a hardcore ski town. That was a big catapult. And then another inflection point was when I was setting my prices, not necessarily for the very first sale or the second sale, but when I realized that, wait a minute, once you are great at your craft, everything else is vision. And the ability to execute. So let's put execute and craft in the same bucket, and then everything else is vision. And I think whether we're talking about how to hack the system from inside a big company, or how to hack the system from an entrepreneurial standpoint or an artist standpoint, the way that I hacked the system was my first hired like day rate or gig was at several $1,000s a day. So I pushed myself to a level that was incredibly uncomfortable and required myself to deliver at the highest level, and I charged accordingly because I had done the work, done the research, and knew what the top guys and gals were getting, and I put myself in that caliber right away.
Did they accept it right off the bat, or did you have to negotiate for it? I mean, did you have some guy who's like, wait a second, kid, like, I know that so-and-so, the Michael Jordan of ski photography is charging X, but all due respect, like, this is your first big gig or second big gig. I mean, how did you, or did you just ask and you were surprised they said yes?
I had a body of work that I hadn't actually done a lot with commercially. So I felt like the quality, and I was comparing my work to the work that I saw in the marketplace honestly, and I was getting like peer reviews and whatnot, and I knew that I had talent. But it really came to the boldness of where do I want to put myself in the marketplace. I'd rather have my first sale be here and not have anything down there. Because if you're the $400 dude,
then you have to claw your way up to anything.
And that whole idea that when we get some more budget, we'll call you if you just do it for $400. No, they don't call the $400 dude. They call the $4,000 dude when they have a $4,000 budget. So the first, and I wasn't bluffing. I knew that I could do the work, but I said, I think I said it was $2,500 a day, $2,000 or $2,500 a day. And they said, okay, well, it's a 6-day shoot. So I was like, in my head, I'm shitting myself and doing the math. And it's more than I made last year, and I'm going to make it last, next week. And they said, okay, that sounds fine. We might need to add an extra day.
You're like, let me check my schedule.
And literally, like, so there was like, okay, I'll get back to you on that. I'm gonna go, throw up in the bathroom. But again, there were some stakes there. I knew that I could do the job. But I also, I feel like I had an understanding of the marketplace and where it was an indicator of where I wanted to go as well. I knew I wanted to be at a top price point, and I wanted to do less work, but do high-end stuff. And again, I don't want to pretend that I didn't do a shitload. This is like a 10-year overnight success program here. Like I was working in the trenches day in and day out, everything. I was eating, breathing, sleeping photography. But when I was able to start to sort of monetize my craft, I did so at a very high price point. And little note, if someone ever says yes that quickly, you didn't ask for enough.
Of course.
So what happens?
That's why the good negotiators, even if they want to say yes quickly, they'll push a little bit so that you feel better about the deal when it's done.
And that's exactly, I did some iteration of that, and I took a day to get back to him. And I knew that because she said yes so quickly, that the next time if I was dealing with someone who had a commensurate level of experience across the table for me, that and if I could do a great job on this job, that I could ask for more.